Hello, flower lovers. I'm Carolyn Ellis. Welcome to Design in Bloom, seasonal flowers for your table and home. I often hear people say, I love flowers. I wish I could arrange them. Design in Bloom is my response. In each episode, I will take you step by step through a flower arrangement, low stress, high success. Thanks for joining me. Let's design some flowers for your table and home. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Design in Bloom, arranging seasonal flowers for your table and your home. I'm Carolyn Ellis, and I'm so happy to be with you today. This is my absolutely favorite time of year. The holidays are ahead, but we're still enjoying the days that are pretty long, and the sunshine just sparkles. Here in Lexington, the maple trees are outdoing themselves in reds and gold. It is just magnificent. We'll be making a centerpiece for Thanksgiving and using flowers that are in the Thanksgiving palette. So with these beautiful calla lilies, we have orange roses. We'll be using the safflower, which has a very thistle-like appearance, some dark red mums, filling in with some rose hips, and working with various kinds of foliage. To begin, I'll tell you about the container. This is a simple compote. It is about 6 inches high and 8 inches wide at the top. It's a classic form, but with a contemporary twist. Very simple, clean lines, and it has a beautiful rosy cast to it. We're going to be using a stem network to hold the flowers in place, and to support that stem network, I've put a tape grid across the top of the container. I used floral tape and made a simple tic-tac-toe framework. So to begin, I'm using Italian ruscus, which is this beautiful long arching green, cutting it into pieces. And although the arrangement is going to have a casual look, it has a format. And the format can be thought of as a three-pointed star or triangle. We'll be having a point of emphasis at 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. So I'm going to place these stems here. I'll actually add a little water to bring that level up just a little bit to make sure the stems are going to be in there. And we'll get these all tucked in. Italian ruscus is great for this because it has all these side stems. So as you're working, you're building a tighter and tighter network that will just grip the flowers as you put them in. So here I'm using these pieces again, as we said, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. And then I'll keep building, tucking these in, and you can just imagine how they're going to provide a lot of support to the flowers as we put them in place. Coming right along here. The roses that I bought at Wilson Farm came in a bunch that was in 3 colors. These beautiful orange roses we're going to use today, and then the red ones and the yellow ones. And that's actually very nice because we can think about using this arrangement for holidays with a deeper red rose if you'd like to. Or if you're like me, I have a daughter with a winter solstice birthday. So I have always had to think about how to make her birthday special, but not have it seem like just another December holiday. So I'm tucking this in and just about done with this. There. There we go. Great. So now we can see we're pretty well set. So with the calla lilies, I purchased this bunch of 10, and so we're going to use about 6 to go around the outside. You can see that they have this incredible simple shape. Calla lilies have a smooth flower, and they have a very smooth stem. And one of the elements of design that we work with is color, but one is texture. So we're looking for a variety of textures. Smooth texture can be hard to come by in flowers. Calla lilies certainly offer that. Foliage often does too. But if you look here at the flowers that I've chosen for today, the roses have texture. I would call it a moderate texture. The safflower here has a lot of fine texture, And these callas are just beautifully smooth. Can really read their very simple form. I'm working today also on a turntable, which helps to keep things even, and so I don't have to work backwards. You might have a Lazy Susan that you could use at home for that. I do find also that it's really, really helpful to make a little mark. I've actually put a piece of tape on the front because after I've turned this a whole bunch of times, it's pretty easy to get lost and not be able to remember exactly where I've been or quite where I'm going. One of the important things to remember in designing flower arrangement is to make the back look finished. And here, because it's a centerpiece, we do need to finish the arrangement all around. But that can involve a lot of turning, and so it's also really nice to keep track of exactly where you were. There, look at that. Isn't this material incredible, especially for this time of year? When you're planning a flower arrangement, it's also very helpful to buy flowers in bunches. So you're getting a small bunch, 5 or 10 stems of the same flower. I'm going to put this rose in here too. A little support right in the top. The goal here is to keep this arrangement below 14 inches so that people sitting at the table can see each other over the flowers. I'm going to add a little bit of this beautiful silver dollar eucalyptus to provide a little more support in the center. Want things to stand. I actually began arranging flowers at my church many years ago, and that was before Oasis floral foam was popular, and really before I knew very much about flower arranging. So for me, I was creating a stem network way back then, and as we used to say, saying a lot of prayers that the flowers would turn out okay and stay where we had put them. Floral foam is a great mechanic. It gives you a secure foothold for your flowers, but people are actually turning back more and more to using using water and stems. Some say it's better for the environment. Certainly flowers last a little longer when their stems are right in the water. So here we have a nice basis for our centerpiece, and now I'm going to add some of this safflower. Almost looks like thistle. It's beautiful. Trim these down. Here we go. Tuck this in. We're looking for balance. We're looking for variety. We're looking for some contrast. Working with color. And really just keeping in mind this overall notion of a three-pointed star. Also, it's good to remember, I'm going to take this a little shorter, good to remember your dinner guests will be seated, so you can always drop down and see what it looks like from the side. And another thing we want to be doing is breaking the edge of the container. That is just letting some of the plant material lap over the edge to create a softening between the flowers and the container. Here we have what we could call a secondary flower. These beautiful, beautiful red mums with a daisy center. I'm going to cut them up and tuck them in nice and deep. Just let them be a little bit of dark contrast. Get a little hint of what that's going to look like. Coming right along, and again, rotating, thinking about that 3-point star, and then simply filling in. Coming right along, we'll be able to add a couple more callas to this. These little mums were beautiful because they have a daisy center, that bright green center, which really gives them just a liveliness. Dark colors do recede in an arrangement. They can be hard to see. So by tucking them in, I'm giving this arrangement some depth, and I'm letting this little green center do the job of providing just a hint of brightness down in. Okay. Then, what else can we work with here? We have these beautiful rose hips. I have to admit, I gathered these. They're a foraged item. I gathered them along the Metropolitan Parkway in the vicinity of Trapello Road. They're from a rose that is a bit, it's a weedy rose, and it can get a little aggressive, but they were hanging over the fence, and no one was watching, so I helped myself. There we go. But they're a beautiful change in scale, contrast in texture, and we're looking for variety, contrast, not too much contrast, just enough. So let's see, tuck this in again. This one, just want this just a tiny bit shorter, so we'll just nip it off. Here we go. Beautiful plant material, hard to go wrong when the flowers are so pretty. They're just pretty. And what a time of year. They're just so beautiful. Maybe have one more of these. Tuck this in here. Great. You could do this also with plant material from your yard. When it gets closer to the holidays, you could do it with holly. Now, let's add back in some of these callas. We'll just tuck these closer here to the top. There we go. Make sure everyone at the table will be able to see them in all of their absolute beauty. They're so pretty. A little bit of directionality to them. There. There we go. Have an extra one. And then let's try, this is just a burgundy grass. I've given it a little trim. I'm going to see how, I don't want it too long. We'll see how it looks when it's just emerging from here. There. Oh, just catches your eye. Just think, what is that? What is that pretty little element that's just popping out there? It's good to give it a little haircut. I'll just tuck a couple of these in as a little surprise. And we have one other surprising element we want to put in. So, here we go. There. Yeah, a couple more of those. And then the other thing you can do is if you do the arrangement and you're not sure you like it, you can take it apart, but photograph it first. Take a photo, take it apart, and simply start over. There's no harm in starting over. And you'll have a record of what you created the first time to compare. We'll add this right here. Then, the last element are these beautiful crab apples, again from Wilson Farm, and they need a little bit, they need a stake to stay in. So I'm going to press this right into here, and then we'll find a place for them. Right in here, let's tuck that in, look at that. And here, looking for the more yellow side, a little less red. I'll be a little surprise for your dinner guests. They'll be sitting at the table going, oh my gosh, there's a crab apple tucked in there. So you have your overall impression and then a more richer view for people to enjoy as they sit and have some time to be at your table and enjoy what you've put together. There. One more. We'll just do 4 here. Again, these are just little barbecue skewers. You can use for a kebab. And we can tuck this one right in here. There. So I would say we are done. We have created a beautiful, beautiful centerpiece for a Thanksgiving table. Again, we have a 3-point stars we talked about. We have a low height for allowing people to see each other over the table. We have a combination of textures and colors. We have flowers that people might be familiar with, like a rose. We have a calla lily, again, with a smooth texture. We have the apples with nice smooth texture. We have the safflower, which has a softer, more almost bottle brushy texture. The rose hips with their beautiful little stippled seeds. And then we have the wonderful greens that just pull it all together and make it rich and beautiful. This is complete. One final touch I want to put on it is to add just a little bit of this beautiful seeded eucalyptus to break the edge of the container. As you can see, we have it here. We'll just tuck it in. Doing a final check, is it perfect? Is it ready for the table? I might say, I think my guests are going to see that we just need to soften this just a tiny little bit. So here we'll bring this down and add yet another beautiful little texture and a little bit of gray-green, and there. We are good to go. One more touch. There. Okay. Thank you.